My name is Christina Dillabo. I'm the Director of Communications for the Desert Southwest Conference, and this is Tuesday Talks, a weekly gathering for church communicators to share ideas, ask for help, collaboration maybe, and one of the newest segments is to tell us about your ministry. What's so exciting about it? What's innovative? What's I don't know, whatever you want to share about what's going on at your church so that we can help inspire other churches to try something new and share your story for further impact. So we were just talking about Mission Bell, a little church with big impact, coined by Sherry Hall. And just excited to get that story going, just to fill you in and kind of give you an incentive to get your juices fired up to share your church's story. I don't know the whole story about Mission Bell yet. I know that they are a little church and that they're able to feed many people on a regular basis. And so what I want to share with you is, so what are we doing with that information? Are we just going to write a story? We are going to write a story, but we're going to do more than that. So our new hire, Jeremy Crawford, which will be joining us shortly. Right now, he's working on website stuff, so he's not joining us in Tuesday Talks, but he's connected with Mission Bell to figure out what is it that he can capture, what's the story going to be about, and he's going to go visit the church and take photos that the church will have access to. And Jeremy's a gifted photographer, so these are going to be quality photos that the church will be able to use for their website, for social media stuff. But so that's why he wants to make sure that the church has access to them. But he's going to use those as part of a media package for local press to tell the community about the ministry of Mission Bell. So he's also going to write a press release about the church's ministry and send that to the local press along with a few of the photos. He's also going to do a little 2-minute video about the ministry at Mission Bell that the church will be able to use on their social media, on their website, however they want to. We're also going to publicize it through the Desert Southwest Conference communication channels to further share the story about the amazing ministry at Mission Bell. And then Jeremy's also going to write an article that we'll publish through the conference newsletter so that other churches can learn about how this little church can have such a big impact in their community. It'll include whatever it is that their secret sauce is to make it happen. And hopefully it'll be a great inspiration for other churches to try something new or build on what they're already doing. And then of course the article is going to include contact information so that churches can have someone to talk to about trying that new thing. It could be, what do you think? Does this look right to you? Or maybe share about, we're running across this obstacle. Did you guys have to do anything like that? How did you resolve it? So it's just one of the things that can happen by sharing your church's ministry story. And I'm pretty excited about it. So as soon as that stuff's all packaged up and ready to go, you're going to see it, you're going to hear about it, and hopefully that gets you excited to share a little bit about what's going on at your church. So with that said, does anybody want to share something that's going on? Oh,
I just wanted to say that we're down to about 80 members now. So it's amazing that we're able to do as much as we're doing. So I'm very excited about Jeremy's article.
And Jim is from Mission Bell, so that's what he's sharing about. Thank you, Jim. I see that there is a text message. Betty, do you want to share about that, or is your microphone not working? Oh, gotcha. Okay. So Betty says at Willowbrook UMC Sun City, we have extended Pentecost celebration. We are having a couple of brunches immediately following services on Sunday. One is a celebration of each other with activities that help people share their story with people around their table. The other one is a celebration of the retired pastors and or spouses who are a part of our church. Really cool. I like that. That's a really cool idea. I did get an email from St. Francis in the Foothills So I will share what they wanted to talk about, because this is another great example of what happens if you share your story. So I got an email from Scott Morris from St. Francis in the Foothills UMC in Tucson. He asked me about how their church can utilize Desert Southwest Conference communication resources to publicize about their upcoming events about J.J. Warren's visit to Tucson. If you don't know who J.J. Warren is, well, just in case, if you don't know, I will include a link to his bio in the follow-up email. But JJ is going to be speaking on August 14th during the worship service at St. Francis in the Foothills UMC in Tucson. The church is hoping to open this up for wide participation. They've got 2 events going on. One is on Saturday, August 13th. The 2 events are on Saturday, August 13th. In the morning, JJ will be meeting at St. Francis with LGBTQ plus youth and their families. And then in the afternoon, this will be followed up by a community-wide gathering titled Dare to Care, to begin with the process of uniting supporters throughout the community in support for LGBTQ plus youth in the light of multiple attacks, Arizona and beyond, on these vulnerable people in our community, particularly trans youth and their families. So Scott sent me 2 flyers about the whole thing that's going on, and I am going to include them in the follow-up email to you all in case any of you are in the area and are able to participate. So let's talk about what Desert Southwest Conference can do in this situation to help get the word out. So number 1, you can mention it here in Tuesday Talks, but something to note is that this event, and I did follow up with Scott to find out if it's going to be live streamed. I saw that he sent me an email, but now I'm doing this, so I can't check my email. But whatever it is, I will include that in the follow-up. So sharing church's information about some event that's going on in Tuesday Talks, maybe that's going to be fruitful. If it's an event where churches can collaborate, if this event is something that's live streamed, there's some kind of online connection there, then yeah, every church will be able to publicize about it so that their community can participate as well. But my guess is, in most situations, what's most fruitful is to get the information out within your church's community. So one of the ways that DSC Communications can help do that is by providing a media list for the news reporters in your area, and then give you a press release template so that you can just plug in your church's information and send that press release to the local news. We can also share, be thinking about, how can I publish this on my church's social media, or do we have it on our website? Because we can take that information and share it through DSC communication channels. But again, you really got to be thinking, how can I make this accessible beyond my community, if that's the desire? If it's just your community, then sending it out to local news, that's probably going to be good enough. There might be some other organizations that you want to be thinking about that could make sense to give them the heads up. It could be, in this case, maybe it's local schools preparing something like a press release for the school's guidance counselors to share with families. There's plenty of other things that we just got to sometimes think beyond the typical and what's right in front of us. So, and they maybe already did all of that. I'm just sharing that in case it gives anybody else an idea on what else can be done. So then the other thing that we can do is, when it's appropriate, we can also cover the event or use the church's coverage to further the story when there's a call to action. So what do I mean by that? I mean, we can either attend the event, take pictures, do some video work. We can, or there's probably somebody at your church that's already taking pictures. And so it doesn't have to be one of us. We can just use their resources and help tell the story, or provide some, proofing eyes or whatever if you need it. If your church has somebody that's already going to be writing a story about it, you can send it our way and we can help proof it or give you tips on what we think could improve the article. Any questions about that? comments? Okay. Sherry, go ahead.
And one thing I wanted to bring up, to add to what you're talking about, is that it's really important for someone in the church, it can be the pastor or whoever, to attend the local Chamber of Commerce meetings. If that clergy will go in and do the prayer once every quarter or something like that, but become a presence, the biggest thing there is to help the folks that are at the Chamber of Commerce understand the impact that church is making on the community and what they bring to the community, instead of looking at them again just as the Methodist Church. What are they doing for our community? What are they bringing to that? So really encouraging someone in the congregation, if not more than one, to be able to help promote that church and the culture of that church, and what that church, how that church is making such an impact in the community, especially from the aspect of small churches, but any church that's there, because you get to be known as the one with the potluck, or that you've got at Christmas time, they sell cookies and that's all they know, because they're the Methodists. They don't, there's nothing else. So getting somebody on Chamber of Commerce is really important. And some of the other groups that there are out there too, and helping people understand what your church, what the bigger picture is for people who want to be a part of it.
Thanks, Sherry. So if, as you start kind of simmering about what we just talked about, what you heard, if you've got a story or want to find out, is this something that you would be like newsworthy? Just send it. I mean, there's nothing to lose there and so much to gain. All right. So then, and by the way, if you ever do send me a story and then I let you know, well, this isn't really, conference-wide news. I love to use the example of United Methodist Women Tea Party, which now they're United Women in Faith, because so many of our churches have an organization like that in their church. So I feel like when I talk about UMW, now United Women in Faith, we all can relate. Like, oh yeah, they're always have something. I mean, they're an actionable, impressive group that always has something going on. But yet every other church in our conference also has a United Women in Faith organization. So if you're Women in Faith, United Women in Faith, that's what it is doing something really cool. It may or may not be. My first reaction may be like, well, other churches also have that organization, so it's not something I can really publicize because they're already doing it, most likely. Please push back. I could be wrong. It may be like, yeah, I know that other churches have a United Women in Faith, but our organization is doing something unique. Our organization has been able to have incredible impact. Whatever the situation is, tell me more, because I'm speaking out of ignorance, just assuming, well, we all have one. So there's no real story there. There very well could be. So, don't hesitate. Just send me an email. Let me know what's going on. All right. So then I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next topic, unless there's anything else. All right. Next item is about printing options. So I got an email asking if the conference offers any type of printing options for the local church or small churches. And no, not really. We don't have a print house, so we don't offer those types of services. But what I'll send you all is the same thing that I sent that church, which are some of the major national print companies that I often use, because they often have decent deals, but they're not in any way, I don't mean to endorse them. I've used them before and got some good deals, but not always. Sometimes the best deals I've had were at a local print company. So I'm going to also include the website link, the name of the person that I contact there, and his email address for a print company near the conference center. Again, just send them whatever your print job is going to be and ask them for a quote. It may or may not be the best option. Another one that I wanted to mention is Staples. I've mentioned it before, but I thought I would go ahead and share a reminder that Staples they're one of our ministry partners for the United Methodist Church. So if you don't already have an account with Staples, as a United Methodist Church, I'll send you a link to the information that GCFA has about Staples as one of our ministry partners. You'll find other ministry partners there, but anyway, check them out. You can often get some pretty good printing discounts through Staples, and that's just a normal thing because of the ministry partner status. But you also get discounts on supplies and other stuff. So it's worth checking into. Now, if any of you have any tips or recommendations on a printer that you have used before, a printing organization, not a machine, please send me an email with that information within the next couple hours, and I'll include that in the follow-up as well. Or if you have just a tip on some way that your church has been able to get incredible printing discounts, send me that too. Anything that somebody wants to share now about that? Okay. Then pretty quick, the next one is about the dscumc.net email addresses for clergy. I had an email question asking about how, like, the scope of those email accounts. Can other, if it's for church business, can others use that email address? And so I think that what that question meant was, can I use it as, because only clergy or laypersons assigned to an appointment have a dscumc.net email account. So I think that the question was, can I use this as my contact information at my current appointment? Totally good. You definitely can. If the question was, can we request to have an email account for our church or for this ministry or for these volunteers, then the answer is no. It's specifically for clergy or lay pastors assigned that have an active appointment. It's just a means to be able to connect, just to strengthen our connection. Not all of our clergy or lay pastors assigned had an email account, and so this provided them one. But also there's often changes happening, and we didn't know what their latest contact information was, or maybe there was a typo or whatever. So this makes it where, at least through the conference, we can send out information to a valid email account for every single person that has an appointment in our conference and retired clergy. It also provides an easy way for clergy and pastors assigned to be able to connect with each other because they follow the same format. It's first name, commonly known first name, last name at dscumc.net. Okay, then I have a question from Betty. Our pastor tried to forward an item to my office email so I could use some information in it. We discovered he could not do that. Oh, well, for a little while there, maybe if it was automatic forwarding, that wasn't allowed on the clergy email accounts, but we've since switched that where they can now forward things. So check in on that. It may be a setting that the pastor may need to look at. Jim, did you want to share something?
Just a question. What about attachments to those emails? Can they do those?
I believe so. What
happened was our pastor was trying to send out something, and his email or his Gmail account was hosed up. So I said, can't you send it from your DSC? And he didn't know. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes, they will be able to send an email with an attachment. I wasn't sure if there would be any hangups if they did an automatic forwarding from their .NET account to something else. If there's an attachment, I'm assuming that the attachment would go through, but I thought that's what you meant. But yeah, they'll be able to email and include attachments, yes. All right, anything else about that? Okay. Then I also had a church ask recently about help with both the church's Facebook account and the website. And so I thought this would be a good time to just do a quick reminder that in this case, the church couldn't find, I don't remember. Basically, the note that I want to share is to always make sure to have more than one person listed as your admin for your church's Facebook or website. Ideally, you'll have a church email account be one of the admins on the Facebook or website. And to further add a level of security, I highly recommend that you add communications@dscumc.org as an admin, or on your church website, or you could add me on your church's Facebook as an admin. I don't go in and change anybody's anything, but when that's the case, then I quickly and easily have a means to, what I mean by when that's the case, when I get an email from a church that says, help, we can't get access, or sometimes it's even been that they do have access, but the problem is that I broke something or somebody broke something and our website looks like it crashed, or we can't, whatever. Because they had already added me as an admin on their website, then I'm able to go in and help fix whatever happened and put it back to where now they can go in and edit again. So that's the only times that I ever go in there. Actually, no, that's not true. I've also on occasion where it's a small church, maybe it's a new pastor that doesn't have staff or volunteer at that moment, and maybe that pastor doesn't know how to manage their website. And all they're asking for is, can I help them update the pastor's contact information and maybe like the new worship information, how people can watch the live stream, something really simple like that. I'll go in and help make those edits or updates, and then leave it alone. I'll also show them while I'm doing it if they have time, so that they can see, here's how easy it is. So it's kind of a quick little training, and we record it and they have access to it down the road if they ever want to go in and change anything again. So those are the instances, why it would be valuable to have Desert Southwest Conference Communications as an admin on your church's website. And for the Facebook, same thing. I had to go in and add the new pastor as an admin on the Facebook account, and that was it. That's pretty much all I've had to do. All right, but I don't mess with any of the notifications or anything else like that. It's not my job. All right, questions about that? Okay, we're almost through this, I promise. So the next thing I wanted to show you all, I'm going to share my screen real quick. In case you hadn't seen, we have a new classifieds section on our website. And it's exciting just because in the past, I have missed removing a job when it was already no longer active, or I didn't get around to posting a job immediately. It could take me about a week before I post it or remove it. Sometimes it's the same day, but anyway, now any of our churches will be able to go ahead and go to the classifieds section of the website, click on jobs or items. It's the same thing, or you could click on submit. And then by doing it the way I did, you first see what's available. You won't see any of this. This is how I manage them, and I'm logged into the website. But then you can click on submit, and you'll be able to post a job. You will get an option. I don't get it because I'm logged in. I should have been logged out, darn it. One of the things that you'll see at the top is something about, you don't see it because I'm logged in, about creating a login. So if you do that, and it'll explain it on the website, then you will be able to edit the job. You'll be able to take it down when you want to. I guess those are the only things that you do. But yeah, so you just go in here, you post your job information, and when you have clicked the submit, I get a notification, and I just need to make it go live. So it'll be that much quicker, and you won't have to wait on me. If your job has been filled, you can just go back in, log in, and unpublish the job or cancel, close. I don't remember what the language is, but you'll be able to manage that. And it's all very self-explanatory with very colorful buttons, so you can see what it is that you're supposed to click on. Okay, so real quick, Betty had missed about adding me as an admin on the website. That's just maybe like the communications@dscumc.org email address is a good one, because that's not tied to my name. So if anything ever happened to me, There's others that can access the communications email account, and so they would still be able to, the conference would still be able to help your church if you ever needed help with your website went down all of a sudden. I'm not trying to say that we're going to be your new tech support, whatever situation you already have set up to help your church with their website hosting and all that. Yes, even if it's not through the Desert Southwest Conference, we're just kind of another line of support. Like, we might be able to help out if you already exhausted your normal ways of dealing with whatever happened on your website. It's just someone else to be able to ask, do you know what's going on? It might be something that's happening for all websites that are on that same server, which is something that happened a while back. And so then you just know, oh, okay, then we just have to wait. There's nothing that can be done. All right, so next stuff that I wanted to share with you is really from Discipleship Ministries. I'm gonna go to my website again. Oh, not that way. My screen. Okay, so the first thing I talked about was something called Worship Matters. So this is a podcast. So it's just an audio podcast that has, it's free and all sorts of, they have a lot of different topics. And I thought that, yes, okay, good. So you can see on the calendar, if you keep scrolling down, what the different topics are about. You can click on any one of them to find out more about it and listen to it. So this particular one is about a bilingual worship resource. So that's why I was thinking, you know what, this could really be helpful for some of our churches. If you don't already subscribe to Discipleship Ministries newsletter, you probably wouldn't have heard of this podcast. And there's a great variety of topics that could be helpful for your worship team, for your pastor, and whoever else works on this stuff. So there's that. The other one is that Discipleship Ministries also offers worship series and that you can download. Is that what it's called? Sermon series. That's what they're called, sermon series. So this one that's still going on right now is called Living the Spirit Life, and you can see when they're intended for you to use them. And actually, no, that's the one that just finished. The new one is Profit Margins. And this is the one that goes, so you can click here to download. It does ask you to fill in some information, first name, last name, email, what your role is at the church, and then you can download it. It's free. So they have content for every Sunday on this series through August 28th, I think. Yep, August 28th. So I highly recommend that you check that out. The last thing that I wanted to share with you is, and I didn't include this in the Tuesday talks, this is something for you communicators that maybe you want to use it, maybe you don't. I thought it was pretty interesting. I might publish it through conference news. They're basically creating a series of articles based off of frequently asked questions from Ask the UMC. And let me take a look at my notes here. So this is the first article that they've published. So there are questions about splitting. Are we really asking traditionalists to leave the denomination? About the altar, its doctrine. So it's a lot of really great questions. Are we trying to change the Bible? No. Just great questions and in detail, authoritative answers that you could use this as part of something that you share in your newsletter. You might use tidbits of it to share once a week, once a month through social media. Maybe your Sunday school people could use this. It just seemed like there's a lot of really great questions and great answers in there that you could use in many different ways. So I will include a link to it. But remember, this isn't a single article. They're actually publishing a series to help deal with the misperceptions and misinformation that's out there. So I highly recommend that you take a look at it at least and see how it might work at your church. So anything else anybody else wants to share or ask or anything? Okay, then. It is 10:32, and considering that we started 1 minute late, we had a ton of content today, and we got through it in about half an hour. So great job. I will see you guys next week. See you all next week, sorry. And don't forget to send me your emails with questions, ideas. If you have a printer that you maybe use that you want to recommend, send that to me. communications@dscumc.org.